Chapter 28. Intelligence and Planning. Marcus woke early in Valdris with a sense of urgency that had become constant since receiving the defenders' intelligence about Malakar's approaching army. Today he would have to convince Lord Hammond and Sister Cora to take action based on information he couldn't fully explain. The challenge was presenting military intelligence without revealing his sources or the existence of the defenders. Marcus made his way through Drakmoor's morning streets toward Lord Hammond's district. On the surface, life carried on. Vendors arranging their stalls, children darting between errands, refugees weaving through the crowd. But beneath the routine buzz, tension lingered like a storm waiting to break. Arguments flared in alleys, guards watched too closely, and whispers of revolt clung to every corner. The city was restless, teetering on the edge of something far worse. Marcus knew the truth. 90,000 enemy soldiers were closing in. Civil unrest was dangerous enough, but when the war reached these walls, the chaos would erupt into something far bloodier. In 2 weeks, these streets might not be bustling at all. They could be graves. And Marcus was one of the few who understood how close Drakmoor stood to ruin. At Lord Hammond's administrative building, Marcus requested an urgent meeting with both the Lord and Sister Cora. The guards recognized him from his previous visits and sent word to their superiors about his arrival. Commander Kane emerged first, his weathered face showing the strain of managing a refugee population that had grown beyond all reasonable capacity.
Marcus, what brings you here so early? We weren't expecting you until later in the week.
Commander, I need to speak with Lord Hammond and Sister Cora together. I have intelligence about threats to the city that require immediate attention.
Kane's expression grew serious.
What kind of intelligence? From what sources?
I can't reveal my sources, but the information is reliable and urgent. Lives depend on taking action quickly.
Within an hour, Marcus found himself seated in Lord Hammond's office, with the Lord himself, Sister Cora, and Commander Kane. The room felt heavy with anticipation as Marcus prepared to deliver news that would change everything.
Gentlemen, Sister Cora, I have credible intelligence that Malachar is gathering his western forces for a direct assault on Drakmoor. The attack will come from the east and the timeline is approximately 2 to 3 weeks.
Marcus began formally. The silence that followed was profound. Lord Hammond leaned forward in his chair while Sister Cora's face went pale. Commander Kane was the first to speak.
That's specific intelligence, Marcus. How did you acquire this information?
I have trusted contacts who monitor enemy movements. I understand you need to verify this independently, but I felt obligated to warn you immediately.
Lord Hammond stood and walked to the window overlooking his district.
We've been cut off from our eastern settlements for months. Our information networks in that region were destroyed when we evacuated. Marcus is right that we can't verify this quickly.
Sister Cora nodded grimly.
The timing makes sense. Malachar has consolidated his hold on the conquered territories. Attacking the capital would be his logical next step.
What's the estimated size of this force?
Commander Kane asked with professional intensity. Marcus hesitated. The true number was so overwhelming that it might cause despair rather than action.
Large enough to overwhelm our current defensive capabilities. We're talking about a professional army with magical support and technological advantages.
Marcus, the first trust your judgment, but we need to take this information to the king immediately. The Royal Army Command needs to begin preparations.
Lord Hammond said,
I agree completely, but I think we should present more than just a warning. We need to propose specific defensive strategies and coordinated responses.
Sister Cora looked interested.
What kind of strategies?
Not just defensive positions, but coordinated attacks designed to disrupt their advance and reduce their effective strength before they reach the city walls. If we wait for them to establish siege positions, we'll be fighting on their terms.
Commander Kane frowned.
Marcus the First appreciate your concern, but military tactics should be left to experienced commanders. The Royal Army has procedures for this kind of threat.
Of course, Commander. I'm not suggesting I should plan military operations, but I do have some ideas that might complement professional strategy. What harm could there be in presenting multiple options to the king?
Lord Hammond considered this carefully.
Marcus has provided valuable intelligence and proven his commitment to the city's welfare. If he has tactical suggestions that merit consideration, I think we should listen.
I'll need detailed maps of the terrain between here and Malakar's current position and information about our available forces, supply lines, and defensive capabilities. When we go before the king, I want to present a comprehensive plan alongside the military command's recommendations.
Sister Cora nodded approvingly.
Having multiple perspectives could be valuable. The king will want options, not just dire warnings.
They spent the next 2 hours discussing logistics timelines and political considerations. Marcus learned that the royal army was smaller than he'd hoped, with many units still defending other provinces or maintaining order in newly settled refugee camps.
Our biggest challenge isn't just numbers, it's coordination. We have regular army units, city guards, refugee militias, and various noble household guards. They've never trained together or operated under unified command.
Commander Kane explained,
What about magical support?
Limited. Master Thymon's death was a huge loss. Professor Thaddeus is competent, but doesn't have the same tactical experience. Most of our other magical practitioners are focused on healing and support rather than combat.
Sister Cora replied. Marcus thought about the defenders but couldn't reveal their existence.
Are there any unconventional magical resources we could mobilize? People with abilities that might not fit traditional academy training?
Lord Hammond looked curious.
Why do you ask?
I'm thinking about asymmetric warfare. If we can't match Malachar's conventional forces, maybe we need to find advantages he won't expect.
The conversation continued as they outlined the presentation they would make to the king. Marcus emphasized the importance of acting decisively rather than waiting for the enemy to dictate terms. He also stressed the need for civilian evacuation plans and supply stockpiling for siege conditions. The meeting concluded with agreements to gather detailed intelligence, prepare comprehensive maps, and schedule a royal audience within the next few days. Marcus left with assignments to develop his tactical proposals while the others coordinated with military command. As he walked back through the city, Marcus felt both hopeful and anxious. The leadership was taking his warnings seriously, but the magnitude of the approaching threat still seemed beyond their current capabilities. He stopped at their textile workshop to check on the business and inform Sarah and Aldrich about the general situation without revealing specific details. They deserved to know that significant challenges were approaching, even if he couldn't explain everything.